Alright guys, Huke again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Lots of reaction to the near confirmation that OpTic are getting Huke instead of Pred into their starting lineup. The big speculation was happening last night. Now Shotzzy's given his perspective on the matter as well, leaking that Huke has already been in their practice and also talking a lot with Shotzzy over the last day or so as to how to prepare for their upcoming time together on the OpTic Texas lineup. Can they replicate the success they had with Pred last season in the short term? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Some funny clips at the start of the video here. This also was from Dashy, of course, starting up on Hacienda. Of course, there's some speculation. Is Hacienda as good as it used to be? And okay, look, at the end of the day, there is a door top middle. There is also the change, at least they made in the night Hacienda on the left-hand side of top middle and all this. And Dashy's obviously enjoying using the breaks that he used to use back in Black Ops 4. Obviously, we know the maps it is a pretty big deal. I know there were some clips going around the other day on maps such as like Exodus from Black Ops 3. I've done it again, mentioning BO3. But if you look at the BO3 maps, you look at the maps in that game that were considered to be like the worst and weakest maps. You're talking, you know, Exodus, Aquarium, Havoc, you know, maps like this that aren't particularly well known or explored. You look at those maps, and if you were to put those in the game today and play them for competitive, they would play better than, like, the competitive maps we have today. That is how far we've fallen. We'll see what Infinity Ward come up with in a couple of years' time. So, this year's game, Black Ops 6. Next year's game, Black Ops 2.5. They're not going to call it that, but you know what I'm saying? It's some sort of Black Ops 2 remaster, we think. The year after that, it's an Infinity Ward game of some description. It's expected to be called Modern Warfare something. Again, are you surprised? No. 2026 release. But this is the interesting piece. Expected to feature Omni movement and wall running. So this Omni movement thing is kind of interesting. There was a rumor a while ago, Ghost of Hope might have been the one to talk about it or somebody else, that from now onwards there is going to be some sort of committee at Microsoft Activision basically who decide what features stay and go. So just because it's a Treyarch game, it doesn't just mean that Omni movement is a Treyarch thing. I think that's the conclusion. COD will be more standardized, which I'm not sure is good personally. I used to enjoy the fact that we'd go from, you know, BO2 to Ghosts to Advanced Warfare and feel like you're playing a completely different game every single year. But look, that seems to be the plan. Omni movement will stay around. It's not going anywhere. It will be a feature of the upcoming games as well. But it does seem like a move back towards advanced movement is actually going to be happening. It's probably about time, to be honest. But there are rumors that wall running is going to be back in the game in 2026, and some MW3 original maps are coming back as well. So, you know, I mean, think about this. 2026 release, bring about 2011 maps. I mean, I know that it's been a thing now for a few years, but it just does go to show, doesn't it? Like, how these guys have no idea what they're doing anymore. Now, this was deleted by Standy. We saw earlier today that Illy is, you know, has been contracted somewhere, and as a result, that team has kind of blown it up and they need somebody in. Now, it seems like what happens there is, like, Huke's team obviously changed because Huke was gone to OpTic. Then Standy's roster needed a player, but they didn't want to join Standy's team because they expected Illy to get signed. So it's all been kind of complicated. But, you know, Standy says, never thought I'd hear someone's excuse to not join a team is that someone's going to get picked up to the league. But kind of, I do get it. Like, if you are speculated to join a team and they say, hey, do you want to join? And then you're thinking, well, that player is going to go to the league and therefore the team's going to blow it up and therefore it's not a stable roster. I do kind of get it. But it's just classic challengers drama, I would say. There was also this I thought was kind of remarkable because we did discuss the whole visual recoil stuff yesterday and why I don't really think it's a massively big deal. But there was a lot of talk about this between the players because, you know, Clay, I think, takes my opinion on this, which is like, look, at the end of the day, the visual recoil wasn't real. And it wasn't doing anything, it was just being distracting. So, you know, Beans is saying the amount of people who love this update. Now, of course, the guns feel, and they are, easier to shoot than they used to be. But Clay says, why are you complaining about visual recoil being gone? It literally shouldn't make a difference to the pros. I'm not complaining about visual being gone, I'm complaining there's zero recoil at all now. But Clay's like, well, yeah, you're complaining the random RNG visual recoil is gone. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I think a lot of fans are not unhappy with this change, but it has just kind of exposed how little recoil there actually is in the game, which I think is the one thing that I'd like to see them do something about. Scump also kind of confirms the breakdown is kind of done and dusted, right, as a show. I know that they were talking about maybe bringing it back in some sort of different form. Obviously, they ran the breakdown. It was a difficult one to kind of find a spot for, I would say, with Scump and Zinni. I think my issue with the show was they would agree on everything. Like, I need some sort of drama in there. At the end of the day, whatever you think about the flank, and Ben J and Aches or whatever, it's like the respective drama, Zoomer understands that you know, that creates conflict that people want to watch for on some level. I think the segments I enjoyed of the breakdown when they brought the guest on, I thought that was pretty good. But I do understand what Scump is saying, that especially doing them after the weekend is over, breaking down some of the games they've had a few days ago now, it doesn't quite hit as maybe it would in like another esport or something like that. And basically the drama show, as in the flag, that is what kind of works in COD, and I do understand that. There was also some talk about the Falcons. They've started the year 0-2, but they've looked pretty good so far, to be fair, and they've brought the energy. I think that's the nice thing to see. We do talk about it often with pro players and with teams that, these guys aren't really trying. They try, but they're happy with a paycheck, right? That's kind of the conclusion of many pros, is that the teams, top 6, top 8, top 12, whatever, they're here to maintain their job rather than to try and win. Now, with the Falcons guys, I think given the opportunity they've had, which is very fortunate in many respects that obviously Falcons have come in and done what they've done, brought these guys up from challenges straight to the Pro League. I think obviously they're very grateful for that chance and they are giving it their all. Now, it might not be enough for the immediate term, but there's clearly some talent there. And, fair play to Scrap. I liked what he said on this. Instead of just saying, these guys are terrible, I'm going to slam them week in, week out, he was actually kind of cordial and says, yeah, they're losing, but they're enjoying it, right? Like, okay, not enjoying losing precisely, but they're enjoying their chances in the league and the opportunity to improve and do better. And I think they've been more competitive so far, Falcons, than people expected them to be. And, they're a hype team to watch. It's fun to watch these guys play. So I think that's nice. And Shotzzy said a similar thing. They're good, they just don't know what the hell's happening, says Shotzzy. Now, look, top 6 might be a stretch, but I'll share a couple of clips and then we'll move on to the Huke stuff.
Nah, bro, I promise you, these guys have passion, bro.
Thinking about it, he's in a base.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're going to be top 6.
He's lost right now, Cole.
Right, probably not soon,
so
but like eventually. I promise you, dude. Just wait.
You said T6?
Yeah, eventually.
No, they're actually nasty,
now,
bro.
But like, give it time, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Gotta let Arabs cook.
Nah, his centering and shot is actually crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, they're all good. They just
They're
don't know
all good.
They just don't know what's happening. I'll be honest.
That's because, bro, like in Riyadh, there's
I
nobody to
can't
play.
blame them though. I mean, you can't even blame them. They're playing against fucking.
They actually do know what's happening. They make too many mistakes. But like a lot of the mistakes they're making are the same mistakes. They just gotta fix them.
The issue for them is not getting active, though.
Oh yeah.
They
don't.
What'd you say, Brendan?
They only have one true sub. Like.
Yeah, their issue isn't getting active.
Imagine being on the Falcons, bro. The Falcons are probably loving it, bro. Bro, look at the Falcons POV, boys. All right, yes, they're losing, right? But like, bro, they're not getting ran. They're not like absolutely just like getting ran. They have no chance. They have a chance, and they are in the league. Like, bro, they were in EU challengers, bro, and now they're thrown into the league. They're probably fucking loving it, bro. They're loving it. Even if they're losing, they're fucking loving just playing. Champs? I don't know if they're gonna make champs, bro. If they make champs, that would be so tippable.
So at least as a recording, OpTic have not confirmed anything about Pred going away from OpTic and Huke stepping in, but we're pretty sure that is the case as it presently stands. Obviously, Shotzzy and Pred as a teammate duo last season, they had their ups, they had their downs, but they won the World Championship at the end of the year regardless. Shotzzy and Huke as well have played together before for quite some time. I thought it was kind of impressive that Enable, he put Huke, didn't he, right, in his fantasy team the other day, because he expected Huke to get signed. That's exactly what happened, but I think he eventually actually dropped Huke from his lineup, but then he brought him back in, just as soon as free agency was open, as I think we made some updates to the fantasy page last night. To free agency was open, so you guys can change around your players and all this type of stuff. People want to sign Huke, that's not available to do, and that's exactly what Enable did. I think he got rid of him and then he brought him back. So, maybe that's going to work out rather well. But Shotzzy, it's a tough one for Shotzzy, I think, especially for him. For Dashy, it's true as well. But just given where Shotzzy's been over the last few years with some of the teammates that he's had and the way that things have gone. I mean, he was teaming with iLLeY and Huke. Like, those are his boys. iLLeY, they had to part ways with after the thumb drama and, outer game drama as well. Obviously, we know what happened at the start of last CDL season with the interview and stuff. There were rumours that situation was part of the reason why iLLeY was gone from OpTic in the first place going into that season. Then, of course, with Huke initially, a couple of years ago, when they were playing together, and then the reality was that Pred seemed like the better fit, they called Shotzzy the warlord, and, for making these difficult decisions. And it's not, like, just him who makes these decisions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Shotzzy doesn't feel bad about the situation. You know what I mean? Like, Shotzzy might be quite ruthless at times when it comes to roster decisions, and I'm not saying that's exactly what's happened happened here, but it doesn't mean that Shotzzy isn't like, you know, sympathetic and empathetic to what's been happening in and outside of the game. So yeah, I think just this tweet here from Shotzzy this morning kind of implied like, yeah, it's been a tough couple of days, because with OpTic having to obviously take a step away from Pred for the time being with the speculation that we talked about earlier today, it's obviously been a challenge. But Shotzzy getting Huke back into the team is a pretty exciting possibility. The funny thing was, of course, Shotzzy just straight up leaked this. I mean, he went live and he said, I'm not going to tell you guys anything. Like, you know, it is what it is. Feel free to speculate. And then literally 5 seconds later, he says, oh yeah, we already scrimmed with Huke. So, like, this is a done deal. This is locked in. All the teams are making changes as a response to this, with Pred, of course, stepping away for the time being, as we discussed earlier on today. A couple more clips to share for you guys, though, because Shotzzy and Huke were talking on stream, playing some Hacienda, which is always warming to the heart, I would say, watching this map be played again. Obviously, they've now got this weird corridor on the side here. As I say, it's not brand new. They had this in BO4 when they did the night version of the map. But still, I'm not sure I prefer it to the original, but I understand where Track were coming from when they made this change. But Shotzzy and Huke discussing how they are as players, and I'm sure they're already trying to figure out how they're going to work best together going forwards. I think it's pretty scary, actually. I think on this game, it's pretty scary. Dashy and Kenny will need to play fast to keep up with those guys.
One, I'm not saying shit, and then two, I'm not really sure if it's announced, but we did play with Kyler today. I don't really know, like, what do you say is the difference with playing with me in MW2 to the... I mean, obviously it was one day, but is there anything that stands out? Or am I the exact same?
No, you're definitely better.
What? What do you mean?
I mean,
I'm better. What?
I mean, isn't that normal? You get better over time.
I meant just like as a team. Or like a teammate. Individually, damn, you think I was dog shit. Okay, keep going.
Nah, what?
I'm trolling, I'm trolling.
Honestly, I can't really tell after one day, but from the outside looking at, like, probably just confidence, right? I don't know what you would think, but I feel like...
Nah, I feel like the only reason I said this is because I feel like I talk more. That's like
oh yeah. Well, that's what I mean by that. Like, I feel like to talk more, you gotta be like confident in your game type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like assertive, being assertive. At least for me, whenever I'm coming hella.
Like the quiet one though. Like I've always.
No, you haven't. That is facts.
Like I've always let other people like say shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, that is facts.
And then like they come to me type shit. Whereas if like now I'm like whatever I say comes out of my mouth, I truly believe that type shit. Like, I'll never spew like some bullshit.
No, exactly. Like whenever I'm doing that, I feel like that's when I'm most confident, like type shit. For me at least.
I've always been my best when like put it like this. Consistently I could fry, but my only problem was always trying to basically be an advanced UAV. That was like my biggest problem is that I could always fry, but like doing both was like kind of hard to me. Whereas if now I have like a balance of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, like I could literally do what I'm doing. On top of that, like make the game just so much more easier with you guys, just by the way that like I'm saying shit. That's kind of like
I think
what I've gotten better at. Personally, repeat the shit.
I seen that shit.
But you can you do it on the other side?
Apparently you can. Yeah, I swear there is a way to do it on this side. I don't know how though.
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
Isn't there like I know there's a glitch spot right here on this side, but is there that? How the fuck do you do that?
There's one above you too.
Yeah. This one is easier, I feel like. Wait, how do you do that? You just dive in there?
I just dove into it.
Oh, okay.
But I might have a spot on the next hill.
What about the other one? What's the other one?
You just dive into the wall. Dive into the wall right here. Oh, you gotta wait for I think the car to.
The car has to be like hella, yeah. You took all, yeah.
Going against the people that don't shower. I can't even hold you. I did smell like shit today. I'll be honest. I like to vouch. I'm not even trolling. This is like the one day that I'm not gonna lie. I can't even like. Holy fucking shit. Like.
I also do wonder what it means for the coaching situation of the team, because let's not forget when Huke was making a lot of mistakes as he was when he was an OpTic towards the end of Modern Warfare 2, famously of course what happened on HyDra versus, or HyDra, whatever, like Zarqwa HyDra versus New York Subliners, that was notable. And Karma, who at the time was not coaching OpTic, but Karma made his thoughts very clear that he was not especially pleased with Huke's playstyle at the time, and was very much on board, it seems, Karma, with getting Pred into the team, which was the correct decision. I think that's what's proved to be the case. But yeah, given that, I wouldn't say like stigma or whatever, but given that feeling from Karma, I do wonder whether there's, you know, going to be any, I wouldn't say friction precisely, but whether there's going to be any issues there with Karma and Huke together as, you know, two members of the same outfit again. As I said, Fancy's now updated. We believe we've rolled out some fixes over the last couple of days. We've just launched the Fancy products. There's a few bugs on the site, but if you guys have got involved, obviously you can still feel free to do so for future stages and all that type of stuff. Then, yeah, we dropped something that we tried to make work last night. So very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Just one final thing, shout out Colt Havoc, 20k subs on Twitch, absolutely mega. I do, you know, very impressed by Havoc that he's able to achieve this, honestly, just because, you know, where he was as a player and then coming into the content creation side, and mainly just because this guy's been grinding ranked, and the early days, cheaters are still a problem in ranked, but not as bad as it used to be right at the start. They have dealt with some of them to some degree, at least in the top of the rankings. And, you know, Havoc, the fact that he grinded through it, dealt with some of the issues, and now is reaping the rewards, I thought was particularly commendable. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.